Hey church family, coming at you again with another Monday morning encouragement. I wanted to read from Ezekiel 47 this morning. This is when Ezekiel is taken up in the spirit by the Lord and he has a vision of a river. So I'm just going to read a little bit from Ezekiel 47 and just unpack some things really quickly. Verse 2 says, "Then he brought me out through the north gate and led me around the outside to the outer gate facing east, and the water was flowing from the south side. As the man went eastward with a measuring line in his hand, he measured off 1,000 cubits, and then led me through water that was ankle deep. Then it was knee deep. Then another 1,000 cubits, he led him through the water to where it was waist deep. Then another 1,000 he measured, but it was too deep for him to cross. He asked me, 'Son of man, do you see this?' Then he led me back to the bank of the river. I saw a great number of trees on each side of the river. Swarms of living creatures," verse 9, "will live wherever the river flows. There will be large numbers of fish, because this water flows there and makes salt water fresh. So where the river flows, everything will live. Fishermen will stand along the shore. There will be places for spreading nets. The fish will be of many kinds, but the swamps and marshes will not become fresh. They will be left for salt. Fruit trees of all kinds will grow on both banks of the river. Their leaves will not wither, nor will their fruit fall. Every month they will bear, because the water from the sanctuary flows to them. Their fruit will serve for food, and their leaves for healing." I just love that imagery that there's these big fruits on these trees, and the leaves are meant for healing, and that the river is flowing and giving life to the things that are around it. And that's what we're called to as Christians, as followers of Jesus. We're meant to be refreshing springs for people, and we are meant to speak life and encouragement. Jesus is the vine, the true vine, and we are the branches, and he allows us to bear fruit when we're connected to him. The word says that we're meant to be oaks of righteousness in the house of God. John 15:4 says, "Abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, so neither can you unless you abide in me." I also love that imagery of Ezekiel going deeper and deeper into the river. We could see that as he's going deeper and deeper into the things of God. The amazing thing about the Lord is that he doesn't call us to stay where we are. He doesn't call us to a surface level faith. He calls us into the deep with him. He calls us out. He wants us to take those steps of faith and walk towards him. In this season specifically, you might be filled with fear. You might be questioning things. You might have uncertainty. But the Lord doesn't call us to stay in the same place as we were before. He calls us to grow. And as children of God, we're meant to go from glory to glory. And so I just love that imagery and that symbolism of Ezekiel going deeper and deeper into the river. First he's ankle deep, then he's knee deep, then he's to the waist, and then he can't even cross anymore because he would have to swim, and it's impossible for him to cross the river. And I feel like that's also for us. You know, there are just some things of God that we will never fully understand. And we know that his ways are higher than ours. Sometimes they're a mystery to us. Sometimes why he does things and the way he does things are not our ways of doing things. We might doubt or we might question him, but I feel like the Lord would just want to encourage us that he is calling us into deeper depths with him, and that he is the safe place that we need to hide. He's our refuge and our strength. When we abide in him, when we abide in the vine, when we're rooted in him, there we meet him in new and refreshing ways, and then we're able to share what we've experienced and encountered with the Lord to other people. It's really hard to lead people to a place where you've never really been before, you've never really ventured out before, but the Lord is calling us to the deeper things of him, and that's why I love this imagery as well. The Lord wants to be in connection with us. That's his desire. We give from an overflow of his spirit. As we are continually being filled, we can continually be pouring out to other people. The word says that every month the trees that were surrounding the river bore fruit, and we know that we can only effectively bear fruit when we're connected and rooted in Jesus Christ and his truth. I feel like the Lord is calling the church into deeper places with him. I pray that we can be a people who say yes and step up and say, "Yes, Lord, I will follow you wherever you call me," and that we would cast our nets into the river, and that we would not be afraid to speak his truth with boldness. And I feel like this river could also signify the gospel of Jesus Christ Christ going out and bringing life and watering those dead places that need new life. And water is sometimes a symbol of the Spirit of God. Any way that you choose to interpret this, there's a few different ways. We know that the Lord brings refreshment, and that wherever His truth goes, His gospel, there will be new life. And I pray that we can be life givers, that we can be carriers of His life and His love and His light to this world so much in need of that right now. And I pray that we can continue to abide in Him as the vine and be rooted in Him, so that we can share from an overflow of our spirit and be a refreshing spring. I love you so much, guys, and I pray that you have a great rest of your day. God bless.